Back in Scotland in the castle, Xander and Buffy are walking down the hall together.
You're saying you think she became a giant to get my attention?
Maybe not consciously, but given her tsunamic reaction, I'd say I struck a nerve.
But that's so literal.
We see them more closely as they carry on the topic. Buffy is reaching behind her head as if tired or uncomfortable.
Not subtle, no, but giant. Point being, Dawn's abandonment issues have abandonment issues. Your mom, Tara, you twice. Plus, she knows she was actually constructed by monks who... She's not real.
The two stop in front of a doorway and face each other. Buffy's arms are crossed in front of her. Xander's hands are in his pocket. It appears to be Buffy's door.
She's my sister. I've never told her anything else.
You made several thousand girls into slayers. And moved in with them.
Buffy looks more uncomfortable, fingering the hair behind her ear as Xander continues.
I'm not saying on purpose. I'm saying maybe this thrice-wife she was dating, this feminine hygiene product Kenny, put a whammy on her that manifested in her internal blah-de-blah.
And once again, sports fans, it's all my fault.
Don't go there. There are smells of you. You've been there so often. With the guilt and...
Buffy's eyes look up at Xander searchingly as she interrupts him.
I'm sorry. I'm tired. Tell me now so we don't have to do this whole awkward dance. Are you coming to bed?
Even as Xander answers, Buffy is taking him by the hand and pulling him into the room, starting to smile.
Buffy, we both know what a horrible mistake that is.
I'll be gentle this time. I can be gentle.
Buffy no sooner has him in the room and the door closed before she cuts off any interruption. Xander can only give a mboo by leaning in and kissing him. She is still kissing him when his head pops cleanly off his shoulders in surprise. "Oh," says Buffy. Xander's head bounces away like it's made of rubber as Buffy looks past his still-standing body. This is clearly a dream sequence at this point, and the realism it started in is coming apart.
So gentle.
Oh, balls.
Suddenly the glass breaks in the window Buffy is standing in front of, and a wind appears to start pulling her out the window.
No, I can't go outside. I'm afraid of the dark.
Buffy, you are the dark.
Flying out the window, Buffy answers Xander's head as his body still stands in the room.
That's what I meant.
This lint is so Scottish.
Buffy is ripped backward all the way out of the castle wall, the sky red behind her.
I make a wish that I don't fall. I make a wish that I don't fall.
Suddenly Buffy finds her hands and feet impaled on claws, bleeding horribly.
New wish! New wish!
Still held, spread-eagled on the claw, Buffy is raised up in front of the mouth of a dragon, its mouth open and flaming.
I know you.
Yes. Scream.
The dragon shoots fire from its mouth that engulf Buffy's dream self and burn her with an... The next image is of Buffy in her bed. She is writhing in pain but still asleep, and the bedposts have wrapped around her wrists and ankles. Amy is standing above her, heeled and dressed in a tan jacket, grinning viciously. She's holding a dagger and ready to stab down with it. The dragon's voice was Amy's voice, and she continues speaking.
I couldn't bear it if this was painless.
Amy jumps in surprise as the door to Buffy's room bursts open with a wham. When the image turns, Xander is standing in Buffy's door dressed in ducky pajamas, blue on yellow, and holding a crossbow. He has 4 slayers with him, all in various states of undress, and all looking very angry.
Amy. Long time, no desire whatsoever to sing.
Amy is still standing over Buffy, her face appearing to be afraid.
Wait, we can talk about this after.
Amy stabs down with a knife. The next image is Xander and the slayers looking horrified as Buffy lets out a scream in her sleep. No! Xander wastes no time and fires a crossbow bolt into Amy's shoulder. Amy lets out a scream of ugh as the bolt strikes with a thunk. 2 slayers leap into action, jumping across the room as Xander runs forward with alarm to grab the dagger that appears to be sticking out of Buffy.
Oh my god.
Xander pulls the dagger up. The blade is split 4 ways, clearly never having touched Buffy.
That's the crappiest sacrificial dagger I've ever seen.
Amy knocks the 2 slayers away from her with bolts of magical energy and is clearly indignant at what Xander says.
What?
As Amy magically removes the crossbow bolt and heals her wound, Xander and the slayers regroup in the doorway.
You really think we let Buffy sleep without mystical protection? This isn't open wand night in Sunnydale, sweet cheeks. You're dealing with the pros.
In close-up, Amy's face is both amused and vicious. She takes obvious pleasure in spelling out that her dagger had worked exactly as it was intended.
Any of you pros notice she's still asleep? She's living a nightmare, genius, and only one thing can wake her up. The kiss of true love.
The image changes to Buffy's face, still asleep and still in pain. Xander and the 4 slayers with him look completely dumbfounded by the news.
Seriously?
Outside the castle, Renee and another slayer are standing watch on the rampart. Renee is armed with a crossbow. Her partner has a large axe. Renee is waving her free hand dismissively at the other slayer.
Please, there's no love.
No, right, of course.
The sudden interest in comic books, James Bond movies, and drywalling has absolutely nothing to do with Mr. Harris.
While her friend continues, Renee's face reacts to something she is hearing.
I'm not even bringing up volunteering us for the freaking graveyard shift, because that's...
You hear that?
The two slayers lean over the rampart to investigate the new sound.
Sounds like clawing.
The image changes to reveal that it is exactly that. An army of Scottish zombies were scaling the castle wall toward them. Dozens were already on the wall with more in the bog below. Back inside Buffy's room, Xander and Amy are standing on opposite sides of Buffy's bed, discussing the particulars of Amy's spell. In any other context, it would look like they were having a civil conversation.
So this doesn't have to be someone she's in love with.
No, I said, just someone truly in love with her.
But not friend love.
Right, someone who wants to kiss her like they're passionate about her.
And not a sister?
Well, a twisted sister.
No, I hate you.
From behind Xander, the door to Buffy's room bursts open as a dark-haired slayer bursts in.
We're under attack! Full breach on the east wall!
Xander and Amy both stay faced off over Buffy's bed.
Who's breaching?
Living dead, sir.
Man, Amy, you're doing all the classics tonight.
Xander turns back to the slayers in the room, including Buffy's A-team of Leah, Satsu, and Rowena. Amy, looking smug, stands off to the side.
I need you three in the field.
What about the bitch of the West here?
Asks Leah.
She's bound by our security, or she'd have bailed by now.
Xander is in command mode now and turns to the slayer who came in to tell him about the attack. He points to Amy as he speaks.
Keep a guard on her, and get our witches working on this true love spell crap.
It's real, Xander. Your star player's out unless she receives a kiss from someone passionately devoted to her. Care to give it a whirl?
Outside the castle, slayers and zombies are fighting furiously. It looks as chaotic as a training session with Giles, but now it's deadly serious.
Stop it!
A sword-wielding zombie stabs Renee in the back. Her face twists in pain as she falls.
Please, it hurts too much.
Buffy in her dream is huddled on a non-existent floor, apparently crying. Her eyes look hopeless when a voice calls out to her.
You can't give up that easily, Buffy.
The dream man appears in front of Buffy, but is only visible from the neck down. He is thin and clad in a red shirt and black trench coat. He reaches out his hand to her as he talks.
I have so much I need to show you, my love.
Back in reality, in the fight outside the castle, Satsu is fighting and calling Xander with a report.
Danda, kill head isn't working. They not even slow down.
In the control room, Xander stares at the monitor and holds his hand to his head. He looks completely out of ideas as Satsu's voice comes through the radio. Orders, sir? Orders? asks Satsu. In Buffy's room, Amy ignores her guard completely and prepares to leave the castle. She sits in the window preparing to turn out, but not before stopping to taunt the slayers that can hear her.
All that time underground with nothing to do but get stronger, 100 slayers, and not one person here who can take me on.
In the next image, however, Amy's eyes widen in what is either surprise or abject terror. An all-too-familiar voice calls out to her.
As a friend of mine once said,
And Willow is there, floating gracefully outside the window facing Amy. She's wearing a flowing and folksy green and brown dress, much like what Tara might have worn. Her arms are crossed maternally as she coolly stares down her old classmate and pet.
I'd like to test that theory.
Cast: Nicole Kugler as Amy, Troy Finisi as Andrew, Dee Gallucci as the man in the brown suit, Tina Warren as Buffy Summers, Dakota Warren as Dawn Summers, Breach Outfield as Giles, Stephanie Bing as Random Slayer, Joella Freeman as Leah, Dorsey Price as Random Slayer 2, Penelope Zuckerman as Renee, Stephanie Bing as Saxon, Paul Moore as General Wall, Danner as Willow, and Joshua Price as Liam. Television for the Blind is a non-profit network. We do not own these characters, scripts, or otherwise, and are seeking no credit for them. Our only goal is to give blind people the same leisure of enjoying modern media as others are able to. This is Josh Price, and we hope you enjoyed this presentation of The Long Way Home Part 2, narrated for you by Amy Price.